Landing gear deployed. Drive assist on. Low gravity warning.
Systems scan now. System cartography. Systems scan now. System cartography. Systems scan now. System cartography. Systems scan now. System cartography.
Landing gear retracted.
Docking completed. Hangar is secure, Commander. Acknowledged. Weapons off, Commander. Roger that. Holding. We'll await further orders. complete. Retrieval sequence ready to be initiated.
Vital docking sequence initiated.
Sequence complete. Fighter is safely on board, Commander.
Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Scanning trail.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping.
Completing system scan. Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated. Cartography.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Frameshift drive charging.
Hello, Commander. Can you hear me? Hello, Commander Nimdok. Can you hear me? I see your mic is muted. That is good. So I'm still waiting for our guest, I think. I haven't seen the commander as yet, so.
All right, I think you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now, Commander. Thank you very much. How are you today?
Yeah, I just needed to activate the push to talk thing because I'm not used to it.
Yeah. So are you all sorted with regards to Christmas presents?
Well, I mean, I don't really celebrate Christmas. I mean, my background's, I'm an Arab, grew up as a Muslim, not a Muslim anymore, but, you know, like living in Dubai, like in real life, like, you know, people celebrate Christmas here, but not me. Most what I do for Christmas presents is I just send people gifts on Steam, and that's about it.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So it may turn out that you will be a real lifesaver. Drinking.
Yeah, it's. I get it. Like I used to do streams as well, and sometimes just the guests just don't show up.
Yeah, it's a pain, but if you are fortunate enough to have backups like you, Nimdog, then really cool.
Yeah, I have no idea how I became, you know, such an icon for this expedition. Just because my crazy route taking expertise, I guess. I just fly around crazy and became famous doing that.
Yeah. I have some general questions that I will be asking, that we have been asking all our guests so far. I can quickly send them to you, so you have, well, just a minimum amount of time to prepare. They are general questions, and we'll just wing them. Basically.
Yeah, all right.
Basically.
Yes, Commander.
You want me to go through them now, or?
Yeah, you could take a glance at them because we are starting in about 8 minutes.
Oh, sure. I'm just trying to find the lodging spot.
Oh, and remember, I think we are live now, so just so that.
Yeah, you're live on your channel.
Yes, and with voice too, I think. Or rather, hope.
Yeah.
Inca won't be here today, so it will be you and I.
That's all fine by me.
Sounds so the talk show is planned to be 45 minutes, and we'll end the talk show with the mass jump.
Incoming
Alrighty. Yeah, I just looked at the questions. They seem easy enough. I can go through them. It's fine.
Yeah, expect some questions about your route, Limdog.
That's fine. I mean, even before I came here, I decided to take the long way here. I went all the way back to Station X, and then I went through the inner rim, and then I took like a 90 degrees turn to where we are right now. So it's what I do.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dead End Circumnavigation Edition Christmas Special Talk Show. I am lucky enough today to have a guest with me, and unlucky enough to not have Henke with me. So you'll be listening to my voice and our guest, which is Commander Nimdok.
Well, I'm glad that I could fill in for. I mean, I'm your second choice at least.
I'm really happy you could join Nimdok. So that is absolutely fantastic on such a short notice.
No, I mean, I was making plans. I actually thought that the jump was yesterday, and yesterday I was all the way. I was like about 5,000 light years away from Station X because I needed some repairs, and I was like, I need to rush this. So made it to Station X, and then halfway to here, and then on the 22nd, I made it all the way. Like I was only like 500 light years away from the base camp.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the group, and I'm like, oh, it's tomorrow. Why did I do all this rush?
Yeah. But all our jumps are Saturdays, so.
Yeah, I understand. But it's the holidays. I mean, a lot of people are off anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people are off, and I don't expect that many commanders to be here right now. In our instance, I can see 2, 4, 8, 9 commanders. So including me, that'll be 10. And I really expect that all the commanders that are here with us have finished their Christmas shopping, or else they will have some rush or shopping to do. So, Commander, you had a quick time to just quick glance over some of the questions we have asked our previous guest, and that I will
Sure.
be asking you. So let's get started with question number 1. So can you talk a bit about your commander background?
As the background of the game itself, like
Yeah.
first of all, I've been playing Space Sims ever since the first Elite game. Even before that, there wasn't really much of Space Sims, but I was just fascinated with space. My dad was a big Atari nerd, and I was born with an Atari controller in my hand. And if you remember the Atari 2600, almost every game had space in it, Space Invaders, Space whatever. So this was just a natural progression to me.
Oh.
And the reason I got Elite, well, first of all, I didn't want to get Elite right away. I wanted to invest in a VR unit before I get it. But I was gifted the game 2 years ago, and I never looked back. I think the first time that I saw a ringed planet and slowly started diving in, and then you see the asteroid field forming in your view, I was sold. I was like, this is it. I'm exploring the actual Milky Way inside a game. What drives me is not seeing my credits rise up. It's not about getting the biggest ship. It's not about getting the best bounties. It's the exploration of space.
Yeah.
That is the part that fascinates me the most.
Yeah, so that's also a very good reason why you're here with the expedition.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to come into the previous expedition, the famous one, not the Strange Worlds, Distance Worlds, yeah. But I was moving at the time, and I just couldn't. And by the time I was settled in my new place, you guys were already like 2 months into the expedition. I'm like, I can't. You guys can't catch up now. It's too late.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I think you would have time to catch up with us. But then again, I guess when this expedition is finished, sometime next year, there is a Distant Worlds expedition too.
Yeah, so I heard, and I might fit either a crane or a Type 10 and follow you guys with that.
Yeah, I've already heard about Henka. He went back and bought his Type 10.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks like a very nice ship.
Well, to me, it's pretty much identical to the Type 9 heavy bike, except from the very ugly spoiler on the back.
No, it's those engines, man. Those sexy engines on the back.
Yeah.
Give me.
Yeah, that's another difference. I think I heard that he bought his color engines. I'm not sure if they're pink or purple. I guess that remains to be seen. So.
Well, I mean, we'll wait for the screenshots.
Yeah. I'm guessing we will have those. Amanda, you mentioned you played on the very first Elite. So was that on the Atari?
I got the DOS version later on. In the Middle East, the C64 and the Amiga were not really that famous. We had the MSX here, and the MSX version of Elite was quite rare, so I couldn't get it. But I got it on DOS, I think 1993 or 1994.
Yeah.
Way back then. But yeah, I remember like I was reading about it in a gaming magazine, and I was like, I wanted that game, even though it looked like, even in the standards of the early 90s, it looked very primitive. But just reading about all the options that you could do in that game, I wanted it so bad. So I was quite happy to see a DOS version later on, and I got it.
So did you, at that time, do exploration or trading or combat, or what was your fancy at your very first experience? Elite?
Most of what I did was just trading and trying to upgrade my ship. Every now and then you run into a Thargoid and they would destroy you. But it was that if you ever played an early game, an early RPG called Akalabeth, that was pretty much, it predates all the Ultima games.
Okay.
It has the same appeal to it. It's a very primitive and a very unique kind of procedurally generated RPG in space. Akalabeth was the same way, but it's just like the dungeon crawler. It was the very first open world RPG. It had the same appeal, the same kind of vintage feel to it that I kind of enjoyed.
I played my first experience to Elite was on the Commodore 64. So that was in the mid 80s, 84, 85. When I played Elite.
Nice.
Way back when, and I think one of the reasons I started playing Elite was I never managed to attain the Elite rank on the Commodore 64 or the Amiga 500 for that matter.
No, I mean back then, even for me, it was there was a language barrier. Like most of the time, I had no idea what I was doing because I didn't understand what the words on my screen meant. I was just flying from one station to the next. I was buying commodities and selling them. I didn't know what they were. I just realized that it has the same alphabet or alphabetical order of letters, and I'm like, it's the same thing. They're buying it and selling it. What am I selling? I have no idea, but it kind of worked.
So you touch a bit about your reasons for playing Elite and exploration. You like exploration. What made you sign up for the Dead Ends Circumnavigation Expedition?
Well, the reason why is I've never been to the Outer Rims before. The closest I've been to an Outer Rim was my couple of trips where I went to Beagle Point.
Yeah.
But I never really lingered around there. My exploration mostly takes me to Sagittarius A and the areas around it. I would go to different nebulas, and sometimes I would just follow whatever the Kepler program would find in real life, and would go and find those stars in the game.
Oh.
Like a lot of explorers, they like, especially like new explorers, they think that you have to get a ship that goes outside the bubble. You can do a lot inside the bubble when it comes to exploration and the areas around it.
Yeah.
But to be on the Outer Rim is something else. I remember the first time I reached 3G, the first base camp, and I got my first glimpse at the void. Because you're so used to having stars all around you, and all of a sudden this sky or the space in front of you is all pitch black.
Exactly.
And it's such a mystical moment to me. It's almost like a religious epiphany of some sort. Yeah. I keep imagining. I mean, I spoke about it a little bit in the Discord group. Like if you compare what we're doing to the early explorers of humanity, you see a lot of poems, a lot of songs are written about the sea, the open sea. People kept looking at the Atlantic and wondering what lies beyond. Maybe this is what we're feeling now when we're looking at this. We can see Andromeda, but we can never go there. And I keep imagining like the time when maybe in 1,000 years in humanity's history, we'll be gathered in the same spot we're gathered in right now. And we'll be launching the first mission to go to Andromeda. Maybe it'll not make it there. Maybe it will. But that's the thing, like we want to explore. And
we do.
And that's the kind of epiphany that I got from the Outer Rim. And it's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. And it's also humbling when you look back at the majesty of the entirety of the Milky Way. And that's home. And what's beyond home? There's nothing. And I love that feeling.
Yeah, pure black.
I'm sorry if I'm getting too poetic, but this is what I feel when I play the game.
No. It's your time, Commander, and I'm just asking the questions, and you are providing us with your answers. So that's really, really fine.
Sure.
So where did you hear about the Dead Ends Circumnavigation Expedition? on the
I
forum?
think the first time I read about it was in Reddit.
Really?
Reddit was posting something about it, and I was like, well, it sounds interesting. Let's circumnavigate. I met a guy in the game that did the circumnavigation trip on his own. Took him about 3 months.
Yeah.
And then I looked at this, and they were like, we're going to take an entire year. And I was like, are you serious? An entire year outside the bubble? I already miss my old ships. I miss my Corvette, to be honest. Like, I want to go and pew pew and shoot a few pirates. But I was like, yeah, it's a voyage. It's a nice journey, and you meet a lot of people. I met a lot of people that every time I land there and you see the red beluga, and I go like, hey, it's Simon again. It's something that I never get to do in the bubble.
Yeah, exactly. Your friends list will definitely grow when you sign up for an expedition like this one.
I think my friends list almost tripled on day one when I joined the expedition.
Yeah, and it most definitely will if you sign up for Distant Worlds second. Because there was a lot of commanders on the Distant Worlds, which I think we were 1,000+ commanders. But
Well, I mean, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be there, because the way I play this game, for me, it's more than just a game because I role play it.
okay.
Once I'm behind, I mean, I play with a keyboard and mouse, by the way. I'm not even using a HOTAS, but once I'm behind my ship's visor, I just plant myself in that seat. And when I saw the videos of the Thargoid attacks back home, and right now they're attacking stations, and there's refugee missions over there where you're saving people from those stations.
Yeah.
I felt the dread. I want to go back and help. For a lot of players, they might think that, but the monetary value is not the same, or maybe I'm not going to be able to benefit myself from it. But for me, I feel connected to this world enough that I feel there's almost a sense of duty for me to go back and help. So I'm already committed to this one, though. So when I get back and the Thargoid threat is still serious, I might start taking on the Thargoids.
Yeah. I know that many commanders they have second accounts, so that's one way to get involved with more than one thing at a time. I mean, you can definitely go on this expedition and then get involved with another account in the bubble and do your thing.
Yeah, it's harder to roleplay a game when you have two accounts. It kind of breaks the immersion.
Yeah, it does, but yeah, definitely. If you can manage to roleplay one account at a time, then
it might be worth it. I might look into it. But so far, I'm enjoying this enough. I mean, every time I join a stream of another commander and they're taking on the Thargoids, I just go like, "Hey, greetings from the Dead End Circumnavigation Expedition," and they go like, "Hey, we've got one of you guys." I'm like, "Guys, can you please keep the bubble safe? Keep our home safe as we explore the universe." It's the way I conduct myself in the game. Like, I don't really see it as a game. This is me, Commander Nimdok here. I'm not Habib from Real World.
Yeah, it's about immersion for you. Nice.
Yeah.
That's also the thing from others. If you're just out for the credits and go full Anaconda on day one, then I guess you're not that much involved in doing the immersion stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Elite Dangerous is unlike any other game, in my humble opinion.
I mean, for each their own. I mean, when people ask me like, if they think it's a good idea for them to get Elite, I'm like, hey, I'll tell you this: Elite is the best boring game that I've ever played. It's a sandbox. Unless you assign yourself your own goals,
yes,
the game is not going to give you a goal.
No,
all it gives you is a sidewinder.
Yeah, exactly.
And a galaxy to explore.
Yes. Yes, and I think one of the reasons of so many discontented threads on the forum is this very fact that a sandbox. You have to do your own stuff, otherwise you are likely to get bored very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, some people are not into it. Some people want a set goal, a set story, a set everything, and this is not the game for them. I kind of get it, but it is the one for me because they gave me one of my biggest passions, which is exploring the galaxy.
Yeah.
There's no other game that I can think of where they gave you the entire galaxy to explore.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So speaking of exploration, Nimdog, no, I'm not gonna ask you about your Nimdog maneuver just yet.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. I wanted to ask you what uh, what special systems have you discovered so far? What have you found of Chinese?
Um, I don't know if there's anything special that I found, like other than, you found another neutron star, you found another, Earth-like planet. That's not really what I find interesting about exploring. Sometimes I would spend about an hour staring at a high metal planet because it has huge lakes of liquid methane and they look nice against the sunlight.
Yeah.
It's about the vistas that I explore that I find. I love exploring or flying through icy ice rings.
Yeah.
Because of the fog that they create against the sun is quite amazing, and I like to just fly around it and have some fun there. I don't know if there's anything that I found that was quite unique. The only thing that I haven't really untagged is a black hole. I haven't found a black hole that is not tagged yet in my all of my explorations. But other than that, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, I can tell you one thing, but it's not really a something that I found, but a situation that I got myself into. I wanted to go to Colonia once.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go there with my combat-ready Ferdinands. I wanted to get that ship there. And I was like, okay, I asked the guys who are in Colonia, and they're like, yeah, shipping your ship is going to be expensive, and it's going to take about a week. I'm like, I don't have a week. So I just, fitted myself a fuel scoop and started my journey on a ship that has like 12.5 light year jump.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I'm going to make it.
Yeah, you did say it was combat ready, right? So
yeah, and
jump range is gonna be really poor.
Yeah, I mean, I had a long weekend off, so I was going to dedicate 3 days just to get there. And I decided to go with the Neutron Star Highway all the way there.
Oh.
And yeah, it was working pretty well for quite a while. I mean, I made it to Hillary Port, and from there I started taking the highway.
Yeah.
My jumps were quite good until it jumped me into an island. And what I mean by an island, it was a cluster of 4 stars that I couldn't leave because my jump range was too low.
Yeah.
So I was like, should I suicide? And my friends were like, no, cool off your rats. And I'm like, what are they going to do? And they're like, well, you don't have any material for Jumponium. That was your mistake. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that I was going to need Jumponium. Fuck it. I'm sorry, excuse my French. I called the fuel rats and they were like, well, do you need fuel? I'm like, no, I need Jumponium. And they're like, we can't transfer that. I'm like, I don't care. I'm stuck in here. What are you going to do? So they sent a guy within this RV. And on his way there, he asked me, like, on the 4 systems that you can travel to, find any planets with Jumponium. And I did. I found a few that were pretty good for Jumponium. He landed in his RV and he started like blowing all these little rocks, and I was scooping them with my Fertilance from the floor because I didn't have this RV at the time. That rescue mission lasted for more than 6 hours. From him coming there to finding all the Jumponium that I needed, and then he flew around and found a route for me that I can take and get out of that little island.
Yes.
They dubbed that little island Nimdug's Lament. I think if you go to I mean, I don't know if they remember it or not. That happened about 1.5 years ago, but that was quite an adventure.
Yeah, I get it. So, did you need jump J-freeze?
Did I need what?
You mean I mean the premium Jumponium? get the J-phrase?
No. I didn't need G3s. I needed one G2 and a few G1s. So it wasn't really that much. But the thing is, like, I didn't think that I would need Jumponium because when I looked at the galaxy map before I set on my journey, it was all clear all the way to the end. Like, there's no area with, a shallow area of stars. So I thought that I was going to be safe. And all the materials that I had were to refill my ammunition because I was going to go there to just kill some people. It was just like premium ammunition stuff. That's all I had.
Okay. So those fuel red guys, they are really fantastic.
Oh yeah, they saved my life. They saved my life, and I still have all that. That little island is still marked on my galaxy map. Every time I go to Colonia, I have to just visit them, like, just reminiscent on the old days. That little adventure of mine.
Yeah, and you said the name they gave for the system was Nimdox.
Nimdox Lament.
Nimdox Lament.
I don't think they named it in anywhere. I think I should submit a name on EDSM. I don't know. Like, can you just do that? Can you go on EDSM and name a system? I don't know how to do it.
I'm not sure. It's just a community thing where the EDSM guys are naming the system, but the system per se in the goal map does not reflect any changes from EDSM.
All right.
Nimdox Lament. My Google foo bad because I can't.
No, it's they just named it colloquially there. We didn't really name it on any star map anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'm asking, like, if I should claim it or not. It's just something that we discussed at the time. By the way, if you go into the Neutron Star Highway website, Spanish website, he has a little warning there, like, if your ship is less than like 20 or 30 light year range.
I know.
That was because of me.
That was you?
That was because of me, because he was involved in the rescue mission.
Yeah.
They called him in and he's like, well, what's up with your highway? And he's like, yeah, I didn't really think that someone with a 12.5 light year range is going to use it.
Yeah, and
so
you made it finally to Colonia?
Yeah, I made it to Colonia in the end. It's and even the guy from the Fuel Rat who helped me was there to welcome me in. He's like, yeah, you made it. That was one hell of a trip, though. One hell of a trip.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know what? The technique of scooping materials from the planet, even if you don't have an SRV, that was used too on the Distant Worlds expedition by Commander Fraud Digger, who went there in his Sidewinder.
Nice.
He got they didn't call themselves. Oh, they called themselves the Rock Rats, and they set up to help Fraud getting the final distance to Bickle Point because he was almost not gonna make it. He had his mind set on giving up on Bickle Point because he couldn't reach it because he didn't have any means of getting Champonium. But the Rock Rats they saved Fraud and he finally made it to Bickle Point in his Sidewinder. So that was pretty awesome too.
Yeah, that's the thing about the elite community. It's unlike any other communities that I've been to. Like, other than a few griefers here and there, the entire community is just the nicest people ever. Don't remember the name of the engineer that you had to unlock by shipping like rare material, like rare alcohol, and you could only buy 4 at once, and the guy wanted like 20. And I wanted to do that, and as soon as I reached the station where you could buy it, there was an anaconda parted outside.
Oh.
And I went in, bought what I needed, and as I was going out, the guy was like, "Are you looking for this liquor?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he just jettisoned like 20 units of it, and I was like, well, "Thanks." Just like that. Like, I didn't know the guy. Just like that.
Yeah, a lot of the commanders are very helpful. By the way, was the liquor you mentioned was that Conquer Ale?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's really a pain when system is not in boom because then the allotment of Conquer Ale is really small and
Yeah, I think the allotment was like three or four,
yeah,
and I
that's
was
a
like, I had to go back and forth for like whatever amount of time,
yeah.
but that commander saved me.
Yeah, that is a lot of trips going back and forth. But you know what, Nimdok? Second account would probably help you do that because then you could do some teabagging. That's another method of getting cargo you want. Buy from station and deliver to your second account.
Yeah, I get it, but the thing is, like, I already unlocked all the engineers. I don't think we're gonna need it anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my next question to you is, what do we have? Oh, I promised we would talk about the Nindok maneuver, and I think we're getting to it now. Can you talk about a
Okay.
bit about the Nimdok maneuver? What does the Nimdok maneuver mean?
The Nimdok maneuver is all about not caring what your route is. You have this area of space that you've never been to before. I know that most commanders would go like, well, we've got a waypoint, let's go to the waypoint. For me, it's like, I've got 2 weeks to get to the waypoint.
Yes.
Let's check this area out. And it got famous after the first base camp because like from Station X to the base camp in 3G, before you get there, there were at least 4 or 5 nebulas that looked so beautiful on the galaxy map, and I was like, I just want to go check them out. So there was like these Skull and Bones, there was Zeta, and a few others I forgot their name of.
Yeah.
So I kept bouncing from one nebula to the next, and by the time that I decided to go to the base camp, I was like, why should I go through that route that everybody was taking? Let's go all the way east as much as I can, so I get a denser route of stars, and just beeline my way to 3G, and that's what I did. And at the end of it, I decided to just take a look at my route on EDSM, and I was like, this looks like someone who's drunk. What the hell's going on? I showed that picture on the Discord group, and everybody was like, this is your own fucking maneuver. This is the dim duck maneuver. That's how it came to be. It's basically like, like I said, you've got 2 weeks to make it to the next waypoint. Why should I go there? It's not a race. And I've got this big area of space that I want to check out. So let's just pick a random destination and go there.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we set up the pace as it is set up. So it's a slow moving pace. Everybody should be able to make it. And if you want to digress from going from waypoint 1 to waypoint 2 directly, then or not directly, then you can absolutely do that because you have plenty of time to do your own exploration. So,
Like, yeah, I mean, from the previous base camp to here, what I did is take a route north all the way to Station X because I'm not going to be able to fix my ship in the next at least few months. I might take a route to Colonia from Beagle Point. So that's going to be in a few months from now. So I decided to go to Station X. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear now.
Oh, I'm sorry, but
You're
the push to talk thing is kind of weird.
It is.
So where did you lose me? Like, did you hear like? Okay, let me just repeat what I said last. Like my route from the previous base camp to here, I didn't go I mean, I could just like beeline my way from base camp to base camp. It was a very easy route, but I wanted to go to Station X because, I just wanted to polish my paint job, but that's it. I mean, my hull was good. Power plant was at 98, 97%. I was like, I'm good, but I wanted to go to Station X because I think the next time I'll be able to go to a station, or I'm planning to go to a station, is I'm going to take a route from Beagle Point. I'm going to try to make it to Colonia from there and back.
Yeah.
So it's going to be in a few months.
Yeah.
So what I did is just like from the previous base camp, I went north all the way to Station X and then left until I was right northwards from where we are right now, and then beelined my way to this base camp.
Yeah.
It's a longer route, but it works because I like I said, I've got 2 weeks to make it, so why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the pace is good because it allows you a very large degree of freedom for doing exploration and not just going from one waypoint to the next waypoint.
Yeah, I mean, what I do most of the time, I go on EDD and on the 3D map and seeing all the points of interest and see if there's anything that interests me, and I would go check it out. Sometimes it's not even a point of interest that's written there. Sometimes, like between the arms, you have a tiny route that is kind of difficult, and I'm like, can I make it? And just go push myself through it because it's a lot of fun.
So what's your jump range, by the way?
Right now it's 50.
Oh.
50, 54 on fumes.
Yeah. I think
The commanders in the game, Commander Simon is saying, don't forget that Nimduck maneuvers can be verified by Commander Ventarix. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. After viewing the video on YouTube guidance. So Commander Simon did make a video on a guide on how to make an Nimduck maneuver. Go and watch it. It's an amazing video.
Yeah, if I can find it, I will put it in the stream, I think. Yes, I saw the video. Simon is doing awesome work on his videos. I enjoy them very much.
I have to say, like, in this group, I think this is the most popular I've ever been in any group in my life, which is kind of sad and kind of exciting at the same time. Like the previous base camp.
Yeah.
I showed up there a little bit late, and some guy was like, "A legend has appeared. Greetings, Commander Nimduck." And I'm like, "What? A legend? I'm a legend now? What's going on here?"
Yeah, I am very pleased with the commanders on everyone.
No, the commanders are pretty amazing. It's been a very, very lovely trip so far, and I just can't wait until we reach even like more remote areas. Like remember the area around Beagle Point, for example. Like a lot of it is permit locked, so navigating through that's going to be a pain. And it's that challenge that drives you even more to push your limit. Because right now, I'll be honest with you, most of it is, if you have the right amount of jumponium, then you're good to go. There hasn't been any actual challenges, and I'm waiting for that challenge to happen.
Oh, there was one challenge. By me.
Oh, there was
Arms End. Did you go to Arms End?
No, I haven't.
Oh, because that was definitely a challenge. That was 3,000 light years of manual plotting for the most part. That's
man!
That's just to get to Arms End, and you obviously need to go back. So that was a lot of manual plotting. So that was definitely a challenge.
Yeah, I saw you guys going through to Arms End. Unfortunately, that week I was quite busy in my real life, so I didn't have the time to do it. Yeah. But I was kind of envious. I'm like, I want to go too. God damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah, but it happens. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of more challenges happening in the future. But yeah, I mean, we had our challenge that you were involved in when I got my SRV stuck in some cavern in the middle of a mountain. And because I because I didn't want to take the easy way out and just log into non horizons and get it out there. I'm like, no, I need a rescue mission.
Yes.
So for those who missed it, what happened is I had two commanders show up for my help. You showed up and you had your fighter, and you tried to prod me out of that little hole, and it worked for a little while. And I tried to climb up, but it was too steep. The mountain was too steep, and I kept just falling into the same hole. So another commander had his anaconda, and he just like flew so close to the mountain where it was just almost like his nose of the ship was touching the mountain. And I managed to fly to the nose of the ship, and then they flew my SRV to safety. It was quite amazing.
It was amazing. It was AW dot equals W. I really don't know how to pronounce it in any other way. But yeah, I remember it very, very.
Yeah, it happened like 2 weeks ago. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, it was, and I was like, oh, Nimdog, just log out and start non-horizons, and then you said, no. Why do it the easy way? So I vividly remember your reply on my escape plan. The first one, the non-fighter one. Actually, I was quite amazed that I managed to dig you out from the hole using the wing only. That was
Yeah, you were just poking at my SRV, and it just like started nudging around, and I'm like, okay, well, at least it wiggled. we kind of managed to get it out, even though like most of the time when I was driving it out, I couldn't even see where I was going. I couldn't even visualize if I was climbing up or going down, because that steep ledge was just so weird.
Yeah, your orientation really tricks you on that one. And there were also many times where I wasn't sure what is up and what is down. I don't know. And go into the free camera, and when I used the free camera, I was getting inside the cliffs because it was basically a hole you put yourself into. So the screen would get blurred, and I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it was just a silly thing because I was climbing just fine, and you know how elite physics are. Sometimes you just step on an ant's leg, and yours RV just like flies the other direction, and you're like, "What the hell just happened?" Mm-hmm. It was just free fall. I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna die. This is a trip to Rosette." But no, I didn't die, but it was worse. I was stuck in that hole.
Yeah, and I think I got stuck too in my fighter, so I was like, oh no, the rescue mission needs another rescue mission. Oh no. What is what's fun? I'm glad you made it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is a story that we can tell when we go back into the bubble. Like, this is the kind of stuff that happens during these trips. If we were just like, okay, let's just log out and log back in, what's the point? There's no fun in that.
There's no story in that.
Like, if there was once they release Space Legs, like, this is a story I'm gonna like walk into a stations bar and just start telling the patrons there, like, hey, this is what happened to me the other day.
Yes, exactly. And your rescue mission wasn't the only one. I a few days ago, someone got in trouble. I think it was Commander Wayland who got in trouble with. He was trying to canyon race in his Asp Explorer, and he got into trouble because he hit the cliff and he was down to 6% hull.
Oh damn!
That is a problem, especially if you plan to do any further canyon races. But fortunately enough, I think. Was it who came to his rescue? I think it was Super Moose who came to his rescue. Yes, he was like 5,000 light years from Wayland, and he fortunately enough had a repair controller limit on him, so he got sorted. That is awesome. Especially because it saved me from a very long trip from the bubble. If I were to mount any rescue from the bubble using my primary account, I'm glad he got sorted.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to run into a lot of trouble during this trip. Like, this is only 2 months and a half in. We still have 9.5 months in outer space. In the void, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think you're right. There are going to be some epic stories and heroic deeds be made. Absolutely. So, Nimdark, we are nearing the time for the mass jump, and I will just put another question, one last question on you.
Okay.
And let's see. Covered exploration. So, I have a question. It is a pun, and I want to ask you, what makes you jump?
What makes me jump?
What makes you jump?
Well, right now, what makes you jump is the page up button.
Oh, in what sense?
Well, it is the key that I map to my jumping on my keyboard.
Ah, that way. Oh, I noticed you said you're just playing using your keyboard and your mouse.
Yeah.
And how does that work out for you?
I mean, it works just fine. When it comes to even like combat, I'm pretty good with combat, and I'm quite comfortable with it. I want to invest in a hot task one day. It's just not now. Not now. I might invest in a hot task once I get a VR unit.
I remember when I just bought Elite Dangerous, and I didn't have a hot task. I just had the mouse and keyboard, and I went through the training missions. And one of the training missions was to shoot cargo, and I couldn't hit the cargo. So I think it was perhaps 30 or 60 seconds after I tried the training mission, I ordered my Thrustmaster online. So now I have a full HOTAS setup, and
I mean, when I first started, I had quite a struggle with landing my ship, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm pretty comfortable, even with FA off. I'm okay.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I have more than 2,000 hours in the game. I mean, if at this point and I'm still lousy at flying, there would be something seriously wrong with me.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that flying FA off is better achieved using the keyboard and the mouse than the HOTAS, because I fly FA off, not all the time, but when I do quick turns and stuff like that, I do the FA off, but I don't fly FA off all the time.
Yeah, I fly FA off when I PvP. I'm not a PvP pilot per se, but whenever I'm PvPing, FA off is much better. You get faster maneuvers and you can get people off your back pretty easy.
Yeah. So, any last words, Nemdoc?
Last words is I should have written a speech. Last word, I would say, we still have 9.5 months in this trip. For all the commanders, I say try to make the best of it. We're born a little bit too early to explore the galaxy, and we're born a little bit too late to explore Earth. So this is the closest you'll ever get to space exploration, this game. And I know for some of us who are not into immersive gaming, they would look at it as, oh, it's just a game, it's just a bunch of pixels on a screen. But this is as close of a map of the galaxy you can get. Once we get to Star 1, for example, that is going to be the star where we're going to launch a mission to Andromeda eventually. Savor it. Because maybe in 1,000 years, that's going to be a part of human history. And you're exploring it right now. And that's my final word.
Those were very fine words indeed, Commander. And I thank you very much for joining the show. And I wish you, if not a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, I think I can.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you very much, Commander. And thanks to all who listened to the show.
Yeah,
You
and
just-
I'll see you all in the black.
We'll see you all in the black. Just hang around, Nimlock. I'll see if you can figure out how to play I spent time making an exit video. Playing some ramp music from Good Commander Mexican Reflexes.
Hey, anytime, man. Anytime. No, it's fine. Like I said, anytime, man. I mean, I'm just here playing the game with you guys. And allow me to leave you to it. I'll get back into the game. Alright, bye-bye.